Good evening, a very, very warm welcome to Toga Motorsport Rookie Season 8. Wow, Morgan Shilley, good evening. Thank you very much for popping into Twitch. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. The bonus, thank you so much for the follow earlier on today. We are on Season 8 of what is undoubtedly one of our most popular championships ever. We now have to run at the moment 2 splits. Split 1 is on Tuesday, split 2 is on Wednesday. That is how popular this is. 75 roughly drivers signed up for it, so we had to take a decision to move it into 2 splits. And the way it's going to work, if there's enough drivers, now we haven't had a great turnout tonight, which is disappointing considering there was so many people have signed up, but that's how it goes. The top 25 fastest after the 4 races in split 1 and split 2 get moved into their own split, and the bottom half of split 1 and split 2 get put into their own, which means the fastest drivers are racing against the fastest drivers, and the not so fast drivers are racing against the not so fast drivers. As amazing as it is. EBT Gaming, evening. Here is a support for the BRT boys. Let's go. Let's go. The way we are running this, we are running. Give me a second just to get this set up. That's the qualifying, I think the driver briefing's still going, so hopefully they'll be on track very soon. What we're doing is we're giving a ceiling limit of fastest lap times, which basically means if you go over that fastest time, every 10th of a second gets 7 kilos of ballast added to it manually. So it's almost like an evolving fluid bop, if you like, which is really, really interesting. Anyone who goes above the exceeded fastest lap times will get a strike against them. Now, we've already seen the top 5, maybe top 6 in the free practice would all be on strikes if they finish as fast as they did in the free practice. 2 strikes and you're asked to leave the championship because you're far too fast. Excuse me. And that is how we're running this. It has to be fair. It has to be fair for everyone. The reason we give 2 strikes, the track, car combination, along with maybe it's your favourite track, you might be quicker, but if you go to the next race, you're maybe not as quick. So in fairness, we give 2 strikes. First strike is your final warning. Second strike is please leave. Thank you very much for coming and playing. Do we have Zeta with us?
I am here. I hope you can hear me.
Just about, yes. Just about.
Okay, then I will adjust something. I have learned of something else chatting to the other teams just now, that there is something else I can adjust which may very well help and completely negate everything we did earlier.
Okie dokie. So the 4 races we have for Split 1 and Split 2 are the exact same for each night. There's no difference. As you can see, we're at the Red Bull Ring tonight, which is an amazing track. Next week's race will be at Donington Park. 3rd week will be Kyalami. 4th week will be Barcelona. And then the last 2 races will be almost like the finale to the championship. We have double points on the 4th race, I believe, as well. So that basically means if you're within touching distance, then 4th race really does mean everything. Basically, P1 will get 40 points, and then it's 5 points less for each finishing position below that. So that means round 4, the winner will get 80 points. That it does make such a difference to the entire championship.
It really does.
Absolutely. And Zeta, we have almost everybody out on track.
It is almost. There is one Lambo in the garage, and that's it. So I don't know what Giuseppe is doing. They may be opting just to go for a one-shot right at the end of qualifying, couple of flyers, because they know they can put down some quick laps. Although they've just dropped off the jacks, so they are likely to roll out very shortly.
Awesome. This is going to be... And in fact, our very own Zeta will be racing in Split 2 tomorrow evening.
Indeed, we will. You will just fall off the track on a regular basis.
What car are you racing?
Incidentally, it is a Lambo.
Oh, is it?
Evo 2.
Oh, nice. Not the easiest car to drive, that's for sure.
Absolutely love the thing. It's great fun to drive. It's a really nice short chassis that's surprisingly predictable when you get the setup right.
Absolutely. And we actually see Mr. Tony Shoulders in the indicators. What are they, BMW? That's he is literally 1/10 off of the max allotted time already. He is already 4/10 up on P2, which is an Aston Martin of Had. I think there could be quite a few strikes getting handed out tonight, Zeta, by the looks of it.
Yeah, there was a lot of cars. I think it was the top 5 in practice were going to be given strikes, effectively on strike pace, and everybody from 12 up at least would be getting some sort of ballast.
Yep.
Obviously, if you get a strike, you get 40 kilos of ballast slapped on your car.
It's a lot of weight.
It's a huge difference. So going on the brakes into the first corner is a really big learning curve because all the ballast gets added after qualifying and before the start of the race. So you need to keep an eye on your lap times to know how much ballast you're getting so that you might need to make some setup changes to account for that before you start.
And of course, every car holds its ballast in a different place. It's not
Yeah,
all.
most of the time it's relatively central. If you have a look in for those that have got ACC, I might do it at some point as part of a video. Um, if you have a look inside the car, in the visual screen, in the showroom, you can actually jump into the car, and there's normally a big box with four or five colossal bolts, and that's where they will put basically steel plate for ballast. They will be calibrated steel plates that are weighed for a particular amount, and then they will just add those to the car. So generally, it's fairly central next to the driver, somewhere around the center of gravity and the central rotating mass of the car. However, that does have an effect on the vehicle's balance front to back. So vehicles, heavy front engine cars, it's not too bad. Mid and rear engine cars, it can make a really big difference depending on how close the driver is to the front of the car, because it's essentially next to you in the driver's compartment.
Hello, Charlie. How are you doing on YouTube? So, the ceiling time is a 1:31 dead. Now, we are allowing up to 1:30.5 as the leeway for ballast. So basically, at the moment, the top 4 are all going to get strikes against them.
Yep, and fourth down through fourth, fifth, and sixth are all getting some flavor. Fourth and fifth, sorry, are getting some flavor of ballast.
Right up to
No,
10th.
top 5, sorry, are all
Yep.
getting strikes. Sixth will be getting ballast, and it will be ballasted all the way down to
10th.
10th. Will be getting some flavour of ballast. So it's 7 kilos per 10th, up to the 5/10 maximum, and then it is 40 kilos if just a flat 40 kilos added to the weight of your car.
Which is a lot. I mean, if you try
It's a
lifting
huge amount.
40 kilos in the gym,
literally like having like an extra, almost half a tank of fuel in these things.
Yeah. And this is the thing, so a lot of these drivers may not know how fast they've been, or maybe they do, but they're practicing on qualifying fuel and fuel that's only going to get them to the end of the race. The issue is, they are going to have to learn, whilst racing within the race itself, how to drive the car with 40 kilos on top of the race fuel, and it will actually affect the race fuel as well, because the car's heavier and it's going to use more fuel to get round the track. We have one mandatory pit stop, which is 10 minutes. Now, it will start in 25 minutes into the race, and it will last for 10 minutes. Fuel is required as well as tyres, so it's going to be a minimum 30 seconds stopped within the pit box itself.
As we see, one of the BRT cars is currently 3.5 tenths up on their lap time. The Ferrari car 27. So you may end up. That might put you in first, although first is currently a couple of tenths up. Anybody further back that is making any big improvements? Luca, mostly because I really don't know how to pronounce your surname, is currently 4 tenths up and climbing. That's a very good place to make lap time through this middle section of the course. End of sector 2, beginning of sector 3 is, if you can be quick through there, you can make a huge amount of lap time up.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a huge number of corners here at Red Bull Ring, but the corners that are there are seriously important. Getting good drive out the tight corners and not getting the back end too loose. And then being able to carry plenty of momentum all the way through those, as we see them jump up into 17th, the 31.322. So that cutoff being 31 flat. 20th is a 30.855, and 12th is a 31.035. So any sizable jump, even a tenth, is going to make potentially going to make you some positions in lap on the grid just by making a quick lap time.
Absolutely. Apologies that I had the cinematic view on for that. Yeah, so I don't know, EBT, if you're able to let Christian know, but somehow I don't know if he has uploaded a livery for the race, but it's not in the collection. It's I did double check with the awesome livery tool, and I can't see anything. So if you could let them know, that would be awesome. I mean, it's tight. I mean, you know, if you take up to Darrell and P20, there's 3 seconds between 20 cars.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? It's everybody from 20th to 13th is covered by essentially a second.
Yep.
12th really, and then from 12th, is it wow, 12th up are all getting ballast and or strikes.
Wow.
That's insanely fast. Okay, we have a 28.9.
Yep.
That's...
Yeah, that's insanely quick and far too quick. It's coming up to the point of 3 seconds almost too fast. So
yeah.
It's a shame because the drivers who, and I've been a driver in the rookie season, and it's disheartening when you do have really quick drivers who are in
really
racing.
When we started, we did the first couple of rounds up until fairly large technical failure of our pedals just stopped working. We've managed to rebuild those, by the way. They work quite well now.
Ah, good.
Thank you, AXC Sim, I think it was. Do modifications and upgrades for Logitech pedals, which, by the way, if there are any of the rookies running those, and you're starting to have issues, go have a look at them. They're not the cheapest, but they're not the most expensive, and if it gets you back out running, and keeps you on the road just that little bit longer, particularly if you're not able to afford all the really fancy nice gear from other places, would wholly recommend having a look at them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, you're running against these people, you're wringing the absolute neck out of what you can do, and there's somebody just going 3 seconds fast, and you're just like, that's not what I signed up for.
No, it's disheartening, it really is. So, as I say, you know, there'll be strikes handed out, whether P1 is maybe only gets 1 strike, who knows, I don't know. We don't make those decisions.
I think Hayden may be having some conversations after this race.
Yeah, I think so. It's only fair. Mank, good evening on YouTube. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Can't wait to see you in this.
For tomorrow for that one as well.
Say that again. Mank, is Mank signed up?
Signed up for that one tomorrow.
Oh yes, can't wait to see you out on track, my friend. Cannot wait to see you out on track. So none of the BRT cars are showing liveries, EBT. So it's you'll get a strike too. Oh, really? Well, you're not that much of a rookie then. Wow, that's how much though? How much of well, I suppose a strike's a strike. It doesn't matter what. How much of it is in. Lindsay, good evening. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Mank, other 3 is okay, but close. That's why we are given 2 strikes. So your 1 strike may be the one and only strike you get because it's a good track, fast car, and you're confident on the car and on the track. But the other 3 you're not. So that's fine, Mank. That's why we give a little bit of leeway. We understand we've all been rookies. Some like me are still rookies. But at the end of the day, it's about being as fair as possible for this. So we've still got 15 minutes left. Now, I reckon I'm going to throw something controversial out here and suggest the top 10 are not going to go back out on track.
Probably not. I think they've looked at their times. Everything was made very clear in the driver brief.
Yep.
That's why we were a little bit late. We were just listening to the end of that. Everything was made, so close. Oh no, you did manage it. Well done, Grinzel, down in 22nd. managed to shave nearly 8 tenths off their lap time, so they're now almost 33 flat. So
Nice.
very, very well done. You're also almost 4 tenths up on this current lap. So
Yep.
really well done. Keep that pace up, and you are gonna do really, really well there.
Williams in the 3:05 is 2 tenths up on his time, which
About to
would
bring on to that one.
which would actually put him into the big strike zone. Believe it or not.
Yeah, 31. So 16th is a. So this is also just shows how close this racing is and why we are. Why we're really hot on the minimum lap time requirements, or maximum lap time requirements, as it may be, is. So we're outside of ballasting and strike range. 15th, 31.035. 16th, 31.042. 17th, 31.060. 18th, 31.075.
Yep. That is
Four cars separated by less than a tenth.
Yep.
This is one of the things that makes the rookie series so good, because you get lots of people who are at very similar speeds, and it's fantastic for learning racecraft.
Yep.
For those that aren't used to necessarily driving and racing wheel to wheel, door to door with people, this is what we want to foster. Is this a learning ground? So the stewards are a little bit more lenient with these drivers in this series, because we know that they're all new to this, or at least not necessarily as used to driving next to door to door with each other. So the odd bits of minor contact are a little bit more ignored than they would be in other series, but we're trying to foster good racing habits and good etiquette amongst drivers, as well as giving the what would potentially be a lower end of the grid, where in other series an opportunity to win something can do very well. Again, that's why we harp on so much about these lap times, is because that's the kind of environment we want to foster. Is not just not just because we can do this, but because we want to help bring drivers up, bring that standard of driving up, and allow people a space where they can grow amongst drivers of a similar pace.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. We've still got in the top 10, we've got Ganley and Youngvert, who are out trying to improve on their times. I mean, they're 1/10 and a bit past the threshold of the very maximum time.
14 kilos, and Youngwork's going to get 1. Luca is going to get I think a couple of ballast lumps, so they're going to be on for...
Well, no, P8 to P1 is going to get strikes. P9 is the first of the ballast. 130.5.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. So...
Wow.
Yeah, the top 8 are in strikes. Will be basically getting strikes. Davida, good evening. How are you? Good to see you in. Mank, you never get 29s, but you're in the 30s on a good day. Well, do you know what? Hats off to you. It's better than I can do. It's fair. You've found you because you're usually back of the grid with pace. Seems there is 2 or 3 levels between rookie and alien. There's like 1,000 levels between rookie and alien.
It really is. Another one to look out for, if there's anybody that's on the upper end of this, who is looking for a series, there is a GT3, I think it's GT3 Sprint Series we've got coming up, which has rookie, AM, Pro-Am, and Pro levels within it, and blocks within it. So, running off of a very similar level for the AMs are expected basically that we're matching the lap times percentages, so it's about 104%, and then from about 104 to about 102, I want to say, and then 102 faster is considered pro pace for that series. So if you're borderline on this, there's other stuff that we're doing that you can go and race, and again race against people who are of a very similar speed. So it gives you the opportunity to do that and have some close racing. amongst your peers as well, and again help to bring up any skills that you may be lacking, whether it's having to deal if you're in that in the pro-am group, you may very well be lapping and being lapped at the same time. So that can be a really, really helpful bit of racecraft to learn if you're running in bigger grids and that kind of thing. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. If you're in this one and you want to do some more racing with us, by all means come and join in with that. As I say, the splits will be about the same. I would have to check how whether that will be balanced, moving people around with Hayden as to whether people will get moved from group to group, depending on their pace. But I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen as well. So there is the opportunity there to potentially be bumped up or dropped down depending on your pace and those around you.
Yeah, if you don't follow us on SimGrid, go over to SimGrid and follow us on SimGrid. It'll give you an entire list. We have a packed calendar basically from now until August, September, where, especially this month, we're running basically 5 days out of 7 with races. One of them
18 out of 31 days of the next month.
Yep.
We are streaming something.
Good evening.
So our SimGrid, I'm just trying to find a link to the thing to post now for you.
Casper, how you doing? Bit faster for me than expected. Do you know, I saw you and I'm like, there's no way Casper's a rookie. There's no way he's a rookie. Yeah, P4. Simon, good evening. Hi everyone, and to commentators here. I will redraw myself after tonight's race. I thought split 1, so should be fine. No problem. Listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being honest and doing that. It's nice. It's not like splits on LFM though, so no. Basically, we've only split because we have too many to cover one server, so we set a 50 slot server and it was full within a couple of days. So we then decided to split the championship into 2, but split 1 isn't really going to be any faster than split 2. It purely is because we have too many people signed up for one server to run. So that's why we're going to run with 4 races. The top 25 of each split will then be put into their own split. The bottom half will then be put into their own split. And then that makes it fairer for the last 2 races, basically. Exactly, Simon, you just enjoy yourself, enjoy the fact that, you know, we'll be commentating on you. You might not get much airtime right enough because, you know, you're so far ahead of everyone else. It's going to be like a Max Verstappen situation.
I think the answer there is you have sodded off.
But no, thank you, and I appreciate you being in here tonight as well. EBT, go BRT, yeah, absolutely. Christian, very naughty Christian. He said he wasn't that fast when I was speaking to him. I think the man under talk himself. Casper, you suck at the other maps. Raced Kyalami only once. Oh, have you? So Kyalami's not a strong track for you then, and Donington the same. But I'll take my strike and withdraw before next race if I'm too fast on that track as well. Absolutely, Casper. We're doing the 2 strikes to be fair to everyone. Mank, who's in the chat, you know, he's said he's going to get a strike, but for the other 3 races, he's not as strong. This is exactly why we're doing it as fair as we can. So you just hang yourself in there, and you know, if you prove yourself that you don't race Kyalami very well, and then all of a sudden you do, you know, it is what it is. Simon, we'll look after another championship in your Toga community. Appreciate it, Simon. Appreciate you looking.
I did post both in Discord, both in YouTube and the Twitch chat, the link to our SimGrid. So if there is stuff in there, there's, like I say, there's the Sprint Series, there's the World Tour Season 2. I don't know if there's still space on Season 1, but there is that one as well, which is a seriously quick series for both of those. Great tracks for all of them. But yeah, no, it's like in terms of being right on the cusp. There's a couple of tracks for us that we're not very strong on, but certainly here and actually Kyle Army and are two tracks that we're surprisingly strong at. I quite enjoy the two tracks to drive. Donington, I don't think we've actually formally raced there before, so we're going into this pretty green, but have spent some time at the track just trying to know at least which way the corners go. So yeah, everything is really good. So lap time wise, it's kind of quieting down. Greensall again, you're 3.5 tenths up. Really well done. Keep up the good work there. 4 tenths up. Nicely done. You are out on the start of your lap. It's an easy place to make up a lot of time that first corner, but you can lose it as badly if you get a bad exit from that corner. The first two corners, you get a bad exit, your time just falls away. And you just watch the ticker just fall away, and he's like, I'm losing time and I'm going flat out.
Casper,
so to be almost a second up, seriously well done.
Oh no, you jinxed
him. Curse of the commentator, run wide. It's an easy corner to go too deep into that one. It's a downhill braking zone. It's really tight. We've got optimum track conditions here, so that's not that's going to help these drivers hang on to that racing line. But yeah, it's this is whilst it looks on a map like a really simple track, it's not. It's anything but. There is uphill and downhill braking zones. There is camber. There is crests. It's you get into towards the I call it the infield section in the middle of the track where you got the two left-handers. There's a huge crest as you go into the first one of those, and the car just drops away. Keeping the front end into that corner is a huge amount of effort to hang on to that and to not just let the car slide wide out to the exit, too wide on the exit there.
Stein, yes, BRT are absolutely flying, absolutely amazing. Casper, I can't get close enough to your car yet to see if I see the boat, but I'll have a look. It does look like a custom livery. It's certainly not a standard ACC one.
Oh, have you got a Bentley which has got a boat on it because it's known as a boatly?
It is, exactly.
Nicely done.
Absolutely. Simon, you're going to go back to the race, back to the game. You have good luck tonight, my friend. Mank, some people perform better in races. I'm rubbish at quali most times. Mank, I can usually beat my quali time with race fuel at the start of the race, so that tells you how bad I am at quali as well. I hope you're doing well, Shine. It was good to see you on track the other day. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite your race, but it was good to see you there. Mank, the dip when braking is hard work too. It is, yeah. You're having to do a lot of trail braking to go into that corner, and rookies. I mean, it took me easily 8 months of working on trail braking to actually able to start doing it, and I'm still learning how to do it. Davida, are you to the commentators for tomorrow? No, it's Hayden and myself, Bossman and myself tomorrow. Zeta is racing, so you'll see her racing around the track. Mank, Bentley is a good car. It's a beautiful car. I love the Bentley. Yeah. Oh dear. Oops. And that's...
Casper, double check your files on Awesome Sim Racing, because I've just had a quick fly around your car whilst it's been in the pits and haven't been able to see anything on there other than the base livery. It might be a case you need to say, we've had this because we start with an in-game livery and then just add stuff to it. You may need to add the same file twice because it wants Awesome Sim Racing wants 2 DDS files, so it wants a sponsors and a decals. If you save both the sponsors and the decals as the same image, and then upload them as the two of them, the sponsors will override the decals, and it should then download properly. That also goes for anybody else that's having issues. If you started with an in-game livery, and then added stuff to it, you might only have one of those DDS files, so you might have to play around with having both of them to be able to get it to upload properly and then work properly.
EBT on Twitch, Stamford, the rookie of the team. Nice. Well, he's not far behind the boss of the team, so can imagine that would be quite a bragging right to be rookie of the team and beat the boss. That would be something to boast about. So there's only a couple of cars
Just coming
left.
into the end of quali, nobody is currently up on their lap times, although they're all pretty close to their lap times. So we shall see. Luca in the Ferrari is the closest to being able to potentially beat their time. Quentin is well down, unfortunately, as is Hiller. I'll come back to your name. I do apologise. Although I say that oh no, you just crossed the line. Luca is now positive on time and goes through. I think possibly improves ever so slightly, but not much. And that is the end of qualifying.
It certainly is. Good luck to everybody who's going to be racing. This is rookies. Please don't feel pressure. I know it's easy for me to say. You will feel pressure, but I tell you this is a place to learn how to do things. So just remember what you're told in driver briefing. If you lose control in any way, shape and form, then just hold your brakes until you got the car stopped and you know you're not going to end up steering into another car or anything else, because as much as our stewards are more lenient with this championship, they won't tolerate basic things like not holding your brakes, which Dexter did run through before. So, 23 car grid. Let's get on to the correct view. And
have you just seen the same thing as what I've just seen? Is everything just died?
No, I've got everything here.
Okay, that's entirely possible. That was my end that's just completely messed itself. Oh no, everything is back. My end just decided to have a death. Wonderful.
Oh dear. So, we do have in P1 Simon Vanden Winjaert. Simon, I'm sorry, I absolutely brutalised your name there. We've got Mr. Bossman from the BRT team, Christian, who's in P2. We've got the rookie of BRT, hotly behind him in P3, Stamford, with a 258 Ferrari. We've then P4 Wilkins in the 19 McLaren. We've got our Casper Olsen with the Boatley in P5. We've then got Adrian Had in P6. We've got Samuel Ganley in P7. We've got Luca Bona in P8. We've got David Jungwirth. Hopefully I've said that right. We have P9. P10 we've got Danberg. P11 we've got Baptiste Quinton. We have Mr. Tony Shoulders, who's always in the chat. I'm sure he's probably got the stream on in the background. Good luck to you, Tony. He's in P12. We then have Terry Williams in P13 with the 305 Ferrari. P14, we've got Lolini Alicio for the RRT team. We then P15 have Kevin Lacour, or Lacour. Either way sounds terrible, but sorry about that. P16 is Gasper Caramano. And his number 16 Ferrari. That's quite good. P16 and 16 Ferrari. Good. We've then got Lillian Hilaret in P17. We've then got Rafael Tartari in P18 with the treble 9 Lamborghini. We then have Mr. Valerio Di Giuseppe in P19. This is just getting worse. We've got Luca Bucci. Davide, you're going to have to teach me Italian at some point. We've got Luca in P20. We've got our very own Daryl. Daryl, one of our mods in Discord. He is in P21 with the number 50 McLaren. We've then got Grisel in 72 car. And in 23, we've got Veen Hewson in the... in the McLaren.
A bunch of wheel spin right at the start.
Yeah, poor Grisel got a little bit excited on the old loud pedal there. Good luck to everyone, David. Absolutely, and a special mention to the BRT. Lots of love from the Toga family to BRT team. Please, the name of Mr. Shoulders' team. Oh, Yeah, I know. I said that earlier on. So his BMW team is indicators. What are they? If you know, you know. David,
Anybody that's dealt with the UK will know exactly what that means. Oh, very well done.
David, I'll record a video with the basic pronunciations. I appreciate, my friend, because I'm sure there's a lot of people cringe when I start announcing names on the grid.
Much the same. If you could ping that to us, that would be as well. That would be amazing. Our ability to read and then pronounce some of these names. Fortunately, some of them we've seen in other races who have had half a chance. But yeah, some of these names are amazing. At least for us mere mortals of English speaking language, they are genuinely amazing. But yeah, that would be extremely helpful. We have Welsh friends, and it's still, and spent quite a time in Wales, and still some of these are impressive.
So, Casper, I don't know if you can still hear me, but definitely no boat on your livery, but it does look like a custom livery. Ollie Borman, sorry if I've said that wrong. Wilkins is your favourite, big fan, excellent. P4, but not very far behind the rest. Davida, Awalzita, I'll admit reading some of them for the first time are very confusing. Yeah, they are. It's the same as poor Elias, though. He let me go for 6 months calling him Elias, and then it was someone else that actually told me it was Elias. Poor guy didn't want to correct me. And then I got your name wrong as well, so, you know. So here we go. That's awfully quick.
That's a really big spin. That's somebody's got some flat spots on their tyres before they've started.
Yeah. That is...
Oh, they're all forming up 2x2, and there was a Ferrari that just stood on the brakes, and I think they must have locked the rears, jumping on them so hard to come into line.
Do they think this is a stand and start?
I don't know.
So he came round far, far too quick. So that's him up to 70 kilometres an hour. I dare say they're now all concertina, and we've got a green light. We are racing, and the top four have got drive-throughs. So if you call that karma,
because the back of the grid was so far back.
Yeah, there was never a chance.
There's contact with the. There's a BMW. It's black on my screen. Ran into the back of the red and yellow Aston Martin there into as they concertinaed up into the first corner. As it to be expected, it looks like they have all been cleared. No, they haven't. They are just cycling through. Oh, it's as it does the funky thing at the start of the race, and it gets confused in the first sector.
The software we use, it really is. So yeah, the top four. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what they were thinking, because everything about the start of that race was wrong. Yeah, like everything was wrong about it. So unfortunately, they now have a drive-through. It might make it a bit more interesting. Obviously, these are very quick drivers.
It's basically going to give the top four a last-to-first challenge, which, given their pace, is entirely plausible.
It is, but it does mean Mr. Olsen, Casper Olsen, is going to be P1 very, very soon in the Bentley.
No, it is Quentin.
Oh, Quentin. So Quentin's just passed.
No, Quentin and Wilkins. It's Quentin who's managed to get ahead of Olsen there. Didn't see how that happened. I'm assuming in the concertina ring into the first corner, but is hanging right on the coattails of these the lead four,
who have all
just
peeled in.
For their drive through. No, not all of them. 3 of them do, but the leader stays out for another lap. They do have 3 laps to complete their drive through. So as long as they don't, have they all just decided to park it now? No, they are just rolling through.
They're just rolling
through.
No,
they are keeping going. I mean, I wouldn't have blamed them for that, but yeah. I would say the leader has now just run away to the tune of almost 4 seconds. So.
Yep. Oh, and Casper looks like he's going to go side by side as they go down here. BMW versus Bentley. Power. BMW outwins the Bentley yet again. Don't forget, there's probably about 10 years between these two cars in regards to age and technology. But Casper just showing enough in the mirrors and trying to put Quentin off as they go round. But no doubt Christian's trying to gain some time before he goes for his drive-through.
as
But
we have Shoulders and Youngworth that are side by side coming into the first of the two right-handers. Shoulders just about managed to hang ahead of Youngworth there. Going through, that looks like that is a pass done, as it looked like Lillian has managed to get past
oh, there's contact.
Kevin.
Oh my! Oh, there's contact again. No, check your radar. No. Oh my goodness. That was a bit of door banging that may be seen as a racing incident. However, one car with two lots of contact is more frowned upon, I think, shall we say.
Yeah, as car 27 for
Oh!
BRT.
Oh, massive contact there.
Did not see what that was. I will do a quick replay and see how that happened.
Just as they're coming up to the hill. Yep, so the Ferrari of Youngvert into the back of Caramano by the looks of it, which has caused both of them to spin around. Christian's still not in the pits yet, so he's going to go for his entire full lot before he pits. Is it stealing your number, Davida? Yeah, it is utter punishment. So Christian must get his drive-through done within the next lap. He has
to be in this lap, otherwise he is going to be DQ'd.
Yeah, he is looking like he's coming in now. There we go. So he sweeps in to get his drive-through done, which then promotes Baptiste Quinton into P1 with that beautiful looking BMW, hotly followed. I mean, we did say it was very close. The top from basically P6 downwards was really hotly contested. And look at this, we have got 5 cars all vying for P1. And some of them are big names in the Toga community as well. You've got Casper Olsen. In fact, I oversold that. We've only got Casper Olsen at the moment, but the rest, Ganley, I think.
Is a regular in our various series, so at least a regular name.
Absolutely. So you can see Christian Andrensen falling down now whilst he's in the pits. Casper going a little bit wide. That might be a track limit warning. It might not be. He's under pressure now from this McLaren of Ganley. Ganley has raced, as Zita correctly corrected me, has raced in several of the Toga championships so far. In fact, you could actually add the other 2 cars on the back, and you've actually got 7 cars vying for P1, really. That's a lot of cars.
Yeah, that 7th is about a second and a half off, but does have Kevin Lecour for company only about half a second back, so that's going to be one that they're close enough to be potentially a problem.
Yep.
But as long as Luca Bonner can keep the head down and just keep focusing forward, that shouldn't be too big of an issue.
Yep.
It's really easy to get too distracted by the car behind you and start overdriving and making mistakes to try and pull away. Best thing you can do if you're being pressured is just to hit your marks and let the other car try and drive around you. That's the easiest way of making people have to give problems to other people when somebody's trying to overtake you, is just be consistent and stay on your marks. As Ganley now drops back as Alisaro gets past, and also has Adrian Had in that Aston Martin. Oh, that looked like a bit of contact from Alisaro there to get past. What happened there? Coming down into the hairpin. Ganley goes for a massive dive, bumps the curb on the inside, and just runs out wide. Apologies there, it's just the way the cars, or I called it the cars running out past each other there. As Lillian is flying, managing to make up from the mess that was that Alisaro and Had battle, has dived up the inside, unfortunately got hung out to drive a little bit on the outside of the right-handers. Oh! Okay,
No!
squeeze Ganley in his contact. Ganley,
Oh!
just hold your brakes coming
Oh!
across the track.
Oh, that was bad manoeuvre by Hilliard there. Absolutely took out the McLaren. Look out for that penalty coming in. Oh my goodness! Oh, what is happening? What is happening here? Oh, so Ganley gets taken out again, or he has a really bad rejoin and then drives across the track into the path of a Ferrari. Yeah, rookies is always fun because rookies always does end up like this. We see the Aston Martin, side by side. Oh, a little bit of contact, but I'm going to say, oh no, you've ruined it. Oh my goodness. Wow, there's going to be so many TikTok videos made of this. That was horrendous from both parties. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that one. Let's have a look at, this is Tartari in the Lamborghini. Now it's showing Christian, but that's not Christian. That's Daryl in the sky liveried McLaren behind him. I don't know what race control's doing unless... Surely Daryl's not been lapped. Surely not. Anyway, the leader...
No, Daryl's showing us 13th on my race control. Christian's in 14th, just behind them, and crashing far.
It's just sorted now in race control. It's just swapped over. So Casper's still under pressure from this Ferrari now of Alicia, or Alicio, an RRT-teamed Ferrari. Heavy on the brakes into the first corner. You want the best drive you can because it's such a long drive out of there. And you can see the Bentley power just pulling away from the 296 as we're looking at them.
Aston Martin, a 305... No. Oh no, this has just returned to the garage.
Yeah.
That was sat there for about a lap before they returned to garage.
I think there's probably red mist going on in that car because the contact was utterly horrendous. From both of them.
That, but...
He was mangled, but partly I would say some of the blame's on him. Damn if you don't know what to say. I'm sure Dexter's going to have much more words about it. I can't even imagine what
that reminds me. I'm going to have a quick look at the penalty outcomes, as we shall see those coming through for pit stops for people soon.
We have indeed. I've got them here, Zita. So we've got 10 seconds for car 71. Who's car 71? I don't even see car 71. Am I going blind? No, car 71's not here now. 20 seconds for car 44, which is Bucci. 5 seconds for car 16. Car 16 is... that's Caramano. We then have 5 seconds for car 60, who's actually Simon Vanden Wingart, who was actually the pole sitter. 10 seconds for car 28. So car 28 is Had. He has got 10 seconds. And 5 seconds for car 190. And 190 is Ganley, who's got his 5 seconds. So already penalties been handed out. These penalties will be served during the pit stop. If they get any penalties after the pit stop and they don't come back in, time will be added on at the very end of this race. But already, I think there's going to be quite a few penalties coming out. Don't you think, Zita?
Yeah, there's definitely been quite a bit of contact. The stewards there having quite a lot of work to do with everything. With everything there, why have I lost the pit stop requirements on my screen? I can't remember what the button is to bring those back.
Oh, Casper going really wide. He's got an Aston Martin right on his side of Had. They're now side by side. Aston Martin power against Bentley. Casper has the inside line for this corner, but he's off the racing line. Aston Martin cutting back in because he knows he can, and he's side by side. Oh, last of late breakers.
On the brakes. That is such a one-line corner. That was really well done by the Aston. It hung the Bentley out to dry. Knew there wasn't going to be any way to do it. And you can see the drive difference between these two cars as they come up. into turn one. So yeah, really well done. Really heads up driving from Casper to see that one coming and then to give space.
Absolutely. Great
But
driving.
really well done for Had for spotting that gap and just making it happen.
Looks like poor Casper's now going to lose another place to BMW this time. BMW on the inside line, Casper out wide. Hopefully can he get the cut back? But he's already got another BMW.
Parks it beautifully on the apex and just drives or just stalls the Bentley up completely. Almost starting to bring it into the clutches of LeCour as well behind. We now have from 4th down to 8th is a 4-car battle now for position. 5-car battle now for position.
Yep.
As Lillian is driving away a little bit at the front there. Clearly a bit more confident in the car now after the start.
And we see the race, who was the race leader, Vanden Wingart, is now moved up to P12, getting past Tartari. And don't forget, he's pitted, or sorry, he got a drive-through, but if he did stop for a pit, it wouldn't count because it needs to be within the window. So, there we go. Samuel, no Porsche, no one's brave enough. No one's brave enough, my friend. I hope you're doing okay. I heard it was a bit of a bad show last night. Heavy rain. But yeah, as Zita says, the battle for basically P5 is with Casper Olsen, who is the cork in the bottle in this whole thing. The Bentley has out-and-out power coming out of the corner exit, but it just seems to be struggling everywhere else on the track. Nice gap. He is closing in with the BMW. Not close enough. Now hard on the power. Needs to stay within track limits as he tries to chase that BMW down. Try and get some kind of toe advantage as we get further down.
The rotor is completely broken, Sam.
So Ganley has actually been disqualified.
Oh.
Let's have a little look.
Car 190 disqualified. Extremely poor driving and being a danger to other cars. Lap 5.
That's where I say, look like BMW going wide there.
I think that was a BMW that is actually being lapped. That is BMW of Grissel.
Grissel. Yeah. Grissel. I don't know. I'm going with you on that one. But you're absolutely right. We've got 20 seconds for car 72, which is Grissel, we've just been talking about. And 5 seconds for car 128, who is P2, Alessio, for the RRT team, with 5 seconds, and that was for a collision with 128. So, sorry, that was a collision with car 66, who was Olsen.
Grissel stopped out on track. What happened to you, and why are you pointing at the barrier? Let's do a quick replay of how this happens. Coming down into penultimate corner here. Runs wide, lights on, my God, tries to get on the power, bring it back in and drives it into the barrier.
There's 2 cars that should be, putting a lottery ticket on or something. That was so very close to taking another 2 cars out.
Getting it for a big problem there. As we have Venusen? I'm sorry about butchering your names. I'm going to go with Arjun because I think I can pronounce that correctly. Was very, very close to the car in front, but seems to have had a really poor drive out the last corner. Has just fallen back. We have Jimmy Wilkins is right on the tail of Tatari now. And by the looks of things, catching pretty fast and pretty hard there. So we will keep an eye on this one, see how well Tatari. Now, whilst these cars did start on, Jimmy was one of the Wilkins was 3rd place, I want to say, 3rd or 4th after qualifying. Certainly one of the ones that had to serve drive-through, and is coming back through the field. Now, obviously, this is for on-track position, so Tatari can defend as much as they want to, and really well done, just holds onto that place, holds them in tight, Wilkins in tight, going into this penultimate corner, the last 2 corners there, holds their line, just forcing Wilkins to the inside now onto turn 1. If Lambo's pretty good on its brakes, can't quite hold it around the outside, around turn 1. Can the Lambo now hook into the toe and do anything down this straight? The Lambo is not the best in a straight line, but it's pretty good on its brakes and pretty damn good through the corners. So can it hang on into here? Bit not quite close enough now to make a pass, make anything, but it looks like this one might be done for Wilkins now, and away and clear from Tatari.
We've got a battle for P1 at the moment. We've got Quinton heavily under pressure with the 296 directly behind him. Quinton will know that Alessio has got a 5-second penalty, which will be served in his pit stop, but it looks like that 296 is eager to get past the BMW. It just looks as if different parts of the track it's stronger, obviously, because they're different built cars and engines in different positions, etc., but heavily under pressure. This is going to be a test now for Quinton to see how good of a rookie he can be when it comes to consistency and defending. Oh, and the Ferrari having to pull out of that. I think Quinton maybe caught him out with braking, or the Alessio caught himself out with braking, but he's now lost a place to Had in Aston Martin, who's now up into P2. So Aston Martin now becomes a hunter, and Quinton is still the prey. A little bit of a gap now between them, and Quinton is going to try, hopefully, and make some space up. This is... Let's see if there's any more penalties. There is more penalties. So we've got 10 seconds for car 176, who is Tony Shoulders, has gained 10-second penalty, and 5 seconds for car treble 9, which is Tartari as well. That was a push to pass on car 19. So yeah, Stewart's having a very busy time. Stewart's always have a really busy time with rookies, but this is where people come to learn, as Zita's explained earlier on. This is where to make mistakes and learn from them, and learn quickly, because your name becomes very familiar if you're on the Stewart's watch list a lot. It's similar to a blacklist with the CIA, but it's basically Stewart's with we're watching you kind of thing. But Quinton not able to shake this at all.
Olsen is coming under pressure quite heavily from LaCour still. That battle very much not done. And from first down to fourth, it looks like Quinton is starting to be a little bit of a cork in the bottle for the rest of these cars. Doing very well to hold out there. But yeah, the top four all now separated by not a lot of time. About half a second between each of the cars. So this is definitely hotting up, and yeah, it's starting to look like that BMW is a little bit of a cork in the bottle. Now the other hope is that they can back, if Quentin manages to back the other four into each other, can cause the other three to start battling each other and allow them to get a bit of a break. But I don't think that's that likely with how close this lot are staying together. So this is what we were saying earlier on, is it's a fantastic way of getting into starting and to learning how to drive against people who are of an equivalent pace and skill, and learning how close you can be reasonably when running side by side with each other.
Ollie,
you see this battle for first. You got the top.
YouTube. The best lap, or actually they're just coming over the line now. So I'll tell you, Quinton, his lap time is a 1:30.577. Give me a second.
His best. His last lap time was a 7:67.
Yep, and was a 1:30.410. So 3/10 of a difference between P1 and P2, and you can see, look at this, we've got a two side by side coming up to the tight right hander, who is going to blink first. 296 needs to take it out of the way of taking everybody out. I have to say, as much as they maybe made an error with braking, they have absolutely beautifully avoided any collisions, so hats off them for the car control there. But we also see now they're losing another place to Hilliard in the BMW. So now Alessio has went from contending for P2 into P4 with Casper Olsen with that Bentley. But again, almost side by side as they come round the sweeping left hand off camber. 296 in the prime location but offline for that. Not able to get the move done, so tucks that back in. Just going to have a little look and see if there's any more. Nope, no more punishments at the moment. But we see this battle. We've got 296 versus a 296 versus who was P1 at the start of the race with his McLaren. He doesn't seem to be able to get past. If he could get past these two, he'd be up into P9, sweeping his car out, trying to put off that Ferrari of Caramano. But they'll be coming up in the next 2 minutes. The pit window will open. That Ferrari looking particularly damaged.
As Alessario gets a wonderful drive out the last corner and is able to drag past that BMW. Well, the BMW has now got the better drive into the last corner. Ferrari very late on its brakes yet again, trying to make up that time, and now has to do the same, avoiding action, giving the BMWs of Lillian a wonderful run out there and completely clearing. Now putting Alessario in the clutches of Olsen into the downhill left-hander, but gets clear well and truly there.
Can we also say
so this battle is not going anywhere. The battle at the front with Had and Quentin, again, still very tight. Obviously, Had has got 10 seconds at the next pit stop, so this battle to some degree nullified by that penalty that is coming. However, if Had can be quicker and stay out that little bit longer, then may very well be able to take some of that time back out of that they will lose on Quentin. Similarly, if they pit before Quentin and then are able to be faster on the fresh tyres, then they may still be able to pull some of that time out. Obviously, the battle for fourth, Alessario also has a 5-second penalty, so much the same is they will be desperately trying to make up that time that they are lost. Probably why we're seeing them overdriving a little bit, missing braking points, and that kind of thing, really getting right under the rear wing of that BMW, trying to get as much of a drive as possible, forcing them up to the inside. That's never going to be a move that's on, trying to go up the inside of somebody who's already hugging the inside of the track into that corner. And that has now, because of how tight of a line those two were on, now brought Casper right back into this third and fourth place battle with both these cars, as the pit window has now opened. So the question is, who's going to blink first? 258, first one to blink straight in the pits. For them, where are they? 258, that was Stamford, so they are into the pits now, obviously trying to take all they can to get back out and try and recover as best as they can. Haven't managed to pick up any more penalties, so it's only that drive-through at the start. They've recovered to 14th from basically the back of the grid now, so very well done. They'll be looking to try and recover as many places as they possibly can.
So we've got a battle with Bucci and Simon van den Vingart. This is starting to look interesting, but we've now got the pit window, so Simon will have to pit. Second time into the pits, first time for stopping. There's contact between Hilliard and Alessio there. Alessio squeezing himself through, and it looked like just the BMW turned into the rear quarter panel. He's now under pressure from Casper Olsen, who's looking to try and take this. Casper out wide, taking the racing line, and the BMW up on the inside again. It looks like doors getting banged. This has been going on for quite a while now, and 296 just tucking in behind the BMW just now, just biding its time, waiting for the next braking zone. You can see the BMW not going hugely onto the curb, keeping a slightly defensive angle, but the 296 is absolutely on. Casper Olsen must be wishing that one of these two makes a mistake, because he could gain 2 places from that. Back to... Sorry, I was just going to say, a shout out to Mr. Olivier Stamford, who was ahead of the boss man Christian of BRT. That is going to be some bragging rights, I can assume, at some point for the rookie. For BRT, and there's contact! There's contact! Aston Martin has taken out the P1. That
And
was
there's some
nasty.
following truly between these the second place. Lillian coming off worst and ending up back now behind Olsen. That's definitely going to be one for the stewards there as well. Sorry, just looked back at from the timing screen to that one. Let's jump back and see how this happened.
I'm going to be controversial and say that was Had's fault. The BMW was slow to go into the pits on the second to last corner, which he was also doing, but he carried more speed, caught the BMW and then drove through it basically. So that's really unlucky for Quinton, who's dropping like a stone now. He is into the pits. He might have damage, which he might repair, might not, as rookies. So any damage that you can repair will help in some way, shape and form, especially if it's aero damage as well. So at the moment we've got Alessio out in P1 with the 296, we've got Casper Olsen in P2, Hilliard in P3, and then there's a 3.5 second gap to P4.
That battle with Hilliard was a little bit dicey. Definitely one the stewards are going to be having a look at. The 296 has been really almost over-aggressive with its moves, going from quite a long way back to the inside of people. As we've seen already, doing a bit of a dive. Did have a run on Lillian on the way into that penultimate corner, but was possibly a little further off. I didn't have, obviously, the stewards will go through that incident with more camera angles than we're seeing here. But did definitely look like they had a bit of a dive on, and Lillian didn't entirely expect it. And then it was still quite a long way alongside, but didn't necessarily spot them on the radar on the inside of the final corner until it was too late. So definitely a couple of incidents there that are going to be looked at, and they will have a look at that one. As 15 seconds for 28 for causing a collision and cutting the pit entry lane.
Yep.
At 18.
That's Aston Martin. We've got a swap of position. Wilkins did get ahead of, but they're side by side now. I can't even look at the timing screens to see who it is because there's a three-way battle. Darrell's getting involved in this as well. Our very own Darrell, but a three-way battle here for P6. Wilkins has dragged himself up, but he will have to get into the pits and deal with the pit, but he doesn't have any penalties. Which is
Quentin is currently the Bonner is the who's just cleared their pit stop, so is on the way out now. It will be whether it can stay ahead of Quentin. No, has dropped behind Quentin now on the timing sheets. So yes, Quentin is still the fastest, the highest placed car who has made their pit stop.
Casper Olsen into the pits now as well. It's only leaving 8 drivers left still to pit, and they have both cars coming into pits. They're side by side in the pit lane. No, that's not how to do it. Simon a little bit too aggressive there, crossing over onto the grass. I think that will be looked at by the stewards as well. That was very unsafe. What he did there. Some would suggest he was just being aggressive, but I think that was just a little bit too aggressive for that. So again, Quinton out in P1 at the moment from, if you look at the pit stops. Christian still to pit in P14. Ollie, yes, it was. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but it, absolutely so unsafe. The white lines are there for a reason. If it was on a road, a motorway or anything, you do not cross a white line. You treat it like a solid brick wall. Do not cross it, which is why you see the middle of the track here where the pit line is. So you can move into the inside to try and get out the way of anyone who's actually not pitting and going past you. So yeah, and then these things are said in the driver briefing all the time. There is no excuse for it. Maybe just a little bit too much blood rushing to the head there.
As Olsen has now cleared their pit stop and is up to 5th, so they are the highest placed car who has served a pit stop. As we see, Lillian is now into the pits as well. The other cars around all have to serve some sort of penalty before as part of their pit stop. So they will drop back. It's just by how much they will drop back based on damage and that kind of thing that they decide to fix during the pit stops. So this will be an interesting one to see where they will file back out. Ganley is just parked now for the rest of the race. Grinsell needs to make sure they actually remember to take their pit stop.
2 minutes left.
They have not taken that, and they've only got a couple of minutes, left, as Christian is now into the pits as well, as is Tatari as well into the pits. So they will cycle back down through the order, and see where they come out. Lillian is now in fourth, and is on the way. So where is Olsen in comparison? Olsen goes past.
Yep.
Now where is?
Yep. He's well past.
Berg just gets out in front, so that will drop Lillian into effectively into third place on the road now. When the other two pit, as Alisario drops into the pit now as well. So we shall see where these cars come out. In relation, I will keep an eye on
Lukabucci in as well
when they move off from their pit box.
Olsen is halfway around the lap at the moment, so may come out ahead of Bucci, but I don't know about Alessio. Think Alessio may come out before then.
Alessio's got 5 seconds on their pit stop.
Okay, right. So
plus damage. So
Olsen just coming
Luca
through.
in the car 44 has got 20 seconds to serve. So that will probably be that has now been finally served on top of their pit stop time. So that will be added on, as Had has got another 15 seconds. That's just been added on, so that will be added at the end of the race. Grinsell has also pitted as well, and
Olsen just coming onto the start-finish straight.
Alsario has just started moving. They are off
Olsen
now. Olsen goes through.
He is going to take P1. Can he hold on to this for 25 minutes? We saw the Bentley getting caught up by the 296 previously and being in battles, so Olsen really needs to try and capitalise on any advantage that he can do. Pit window is now closed, and Bucci's just got in time for that. That's going to be interesting.
He is falling down the order with that 20-second penalty as well. Now down to 10th place overall, so question is, will they come back out? And 11th now. If they do come back out, they're going to be a long way down. They start moving now. So this is going to be a big recovery drive from them, as Tatari goes past to put them into 12th. They're off the speed limit now. So who else? They're going to drop behind Darrell, but I think they will be good for... No, they come out literally just in front of Darrell.
Casper going very wide on the S's there. Doesn't look comfortable going through that. I've seen him a couple of times going quite wide into the first corner, which then obviously loses him perfect racing line for the second. So he is being caught. He was 2.7 at the start of this lap. He's now going to be 1.6, and that 296 is in shot of that Bentley now. Casper must do everything he can to get the best qualifying lap times for the next 23 minutes. Otherwise, Alessio is going to catch him, and Berg is not far behind either. So they're all on the same part.
Alessio does have to keep a little... As we saw earlier, Alessio is particularly aggressive in trying to make a move, and often outbreaks themselves into corners. So if Olsen has spotted this or racing them already, it may be something you can use to your advantage. Certainly something we've done. It's a little bit mean, but it's certainly within the rules, is to almost goad somebody into a late braking move that just causes them to fly up the inside, and then you just take that place back off them on the exit just because they can't get the car stopped. So to some degree, somebody's overdriving you can use to your own advantage, but it's not easy if it goes not easy to pull off to manage to do. But we'll see. Olsen's definitely got a fair few miles under his belt, and is a very good driver to start with. So we'll see how this goes. As that Ferrari is flying up behind this Bentley now.
If you are watching on YouTube, please smash that like button. It helps us. It helps the stream. Please feel free to share it. You can become a member. If you're on Twitch, please consider following us, and you can obviously subscribe on Twitch as well. Don't forget, you get a free Twitch subscription every month if you have a Prime account as well. You're going to see much more of this. We're going to have split 2 of this race tomorrow night with Hayden and myself. Then Friday is going to be Zeta and our newest commentator Barry. Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting. It's packed full of action, so it is. Wilkins is showing as fastest lap with...
I was about to say that, 29.6.
Yeah.
That's heading towards qualifying pace, mate.
It wasn't far off getting there for qualifying. And whether he has fueled for full race and just did a splash when he came in for his tyres, who knows? Maybe this is why his times are starting to improve. But at the moment, Olsen under heavy pressure now. Elisio is under 1/10 behind, and this is where Olsen seems to struggle with the Bentley, and again getting a little bit more wide coming out of that S, whereas the 296 is able to tuck in and get a better exit, which, as you can see, is why he's so close. Bona is catching hard as well for P6, but we're going to concentrate in this battle. This is battle for P1.
I didn't see why, but I did see at the beginning of this lap, they're just finishing now. Alsaro had dropped back massively in comparison, so I think that Bentley has still got a fair amount of straight line speed. Also, it may very well have been another moment of getting a bit too close and outbraking themselves into a corner that just caused them to run wide, as 712 is comparative to the track in another postcode. What happened to you? You have just dived for the pits.
Elisio seemed to be learning, braking a little bit earlier, tucking the car in more. It was actually Olsen who went a bit wide on the exit there as well. Sorry, back to you, Zeta.
I'm not sure what that issue was. They went on the brakes and the car just stayed straight and ran straight down the wall.
Oh dear.
Into the penultimate corner there, so that might be a technical failure of some means that has led to them being where they are. So that might be a steering wheel disconnect or something. I'm not 100% sure, but that definitely didn't look good.
So Casper really under pressure, 3/10 between these two now, and Elisio must know the weaknesses of Casper and that Bentley as they come down to the penultimate corner before onto the start finish. Not quite close enough to cause any issues, but he is still in contention. Casper needs to make sure he hits every apex and gets the best possible exit out of every corner, otherwise he is going to be a sitting duck for that 296. And again, don't forget, there's probably about 10 years between these cars in relation to technology. And the 296, such a good drive out of here, right on the back bumper, and you can see he's much closer this time. Is Elisio going to make a move this time? He's having a look, staying, and he is braking just enough time. Oh, he did think about that there. Just a release of the brakes, let the car catch up to that Bentley, but he thought better of it, and I have to say applause to him, because yeah, that would have been a horrendous send from so far back. Wienhausen is back in the pits. Is that the car that you saw with damage? Oh, Olsen with a terrible exit. That Bentley does not want to turn into the right-hander, and he really is sitting... Oh, that 296 sniffing round about the racing line. Casper goes wide, and the 296 takes P1. Elisio forces Casper into an unusual mistake, which then puts him wide, and Elisio just says thank you. Casper's not over yet. He is still trying to get back here. Side by side, the Bentley doesn't have enough power, and Casper backs out of any move. So now Casper is the hunter, Elisio is the prey. Can Elisio make any grounds here? The door was open, Casper went wide, so he did. I don't know if he obviously made an error. He maybe thought the 296 was coming down his aside, whatever it was, yeah, Alessio did it fair and square. Yeah, I mean, this is where the 296 has shown how much better it is coming out of that corner, which you've got a huge long run down to the next right-hander, which is actually turn 3. You think this is turn 2, but no, that kink that you see in the background is turn 3. So
I do know why that is. It's because in certain formats of the track, particularly when the Formula One team cars come here, there is a massive S bend, a bit like you see at Paul Ricard, where they've got the chicanes that they can randomly add into that back straight.
yep.
It's much the same as an extra chicane that they can add into the middle of that corner.
Olsen back on the power again, and we can say that Olivier Stamford is ahead of Bossman for BRT. There'll be some crowing rights for that, I'm sure, at the end. But
there is quite the gap as well.
There is quite. I didn't want to embarrass Christian by saying the gap, but you know, fair dues. Yeah, for Christian being so fast, and this is the thing. This is why, you know, qualifying is about one lap. It's about just doing one lap as fast as you can. Racing is about being consistent and about hitting every apex and making sure you get everything out of the car that you can using all parts of the track possible. But Casper's not letting this go. He's 7/10 between them, but this is where the 296 seems to drive away from the Bentley. So
and we have Adrian Had in that Beach Dean AMR car is starting to really get on terms with Quentin with 15 minutes to go. Really, we had 45 minutes of this race already.
Yeah, no, I can't believe it.
Is now down into that half-second gap, so they've started to pick up a bit of a toe from that Big Bentley being BMW. I'm going to do that all season, aren't I? I was doing it for the entirety of the 4 hours of North the other day. For that BMW, it punches a dirty, great big hole, which is great to follow. But what it does mean is it does have very good top-end speed compared to a lot of cars, although that Aston was fantastic through the hairpin downhill into the middle of the corner. So they're just coming up to the first of the two right-handers in the middle of the circuit now. Aston has really managed to gain through this section, so it's clearly the BMW is clearly trimmed out a little bit more for straight line speed, whereas this bit Aston Martin has got a mega front end on it. It's able just to stick that nose in and carry some fantastic speed through the midsection of this course. So hopefully can just hold on. Yeah, you're a bit too far back, but showing your nose into the mirrors, making yourself nice and obvious to this BMW just to really try and upset that car. Upset the driver, try and goad them into making a defensive move and losing them time when they don't necessarily need to. Really well, smartly driven there. But like I say, that Aston Martin is really good through the middle section of this course. So very, very fast. As car 72 is having some issues out on track. I'm not sure which one that is. That is Grosel in the BMW. Last one still running on track. Very well done. Just getting to the end of the race is always a mega achievement for any of these drivers. What happened to you there? That was, on power again, just drives it across the track and into the barrier. It's easy done, but it is something that can happen.
Also, now 2 seconds behind Alessio and falling behind. If he's not careful, he's got a 296 4 seconds behind him up the road that could catch him. Had, by my calculations, is looking at P9, P8, P9 with his 15-second penalty, which is going to get added on. I
haven't spotted the 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for the cutting the collision. So that's also why we're seeing this Aston be so racy. Is they're desperately trying to make up that missed lap time. So yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, they probably won't drop down to 10th, but they'll probably drop down behind Van der Wingert in 9th. So yeah, for time, Bucci, Luca Bucci in the Ferrari is starting to really get on terms with Tatari as well now, for 11th and 12th now. So just starting to close that gap down with 12. 12 and a half minutes to go. That one is one to keep an eye on as well. They're just tucking in into under a second now. I'll pop back to that one if that gets too much closer. As this battle with Had, through the middle of the course, the Aston just pulls up, but it doesn't have the straight line speed that the BMW does around here, and is definitely struggling through the faster sections of the course, but just flies up behind on the brakes. Into these big stops and through this long mid section of the course, where it's long sweeping fast corners, the Aston just drives up behind. Now the issue he's got is we're getting long into this second stint. Following somebody for this length of time, that's going to start to play a part on chewing up your front tyres. As it goes for it, as Quentin has a bit of a run wide across the curve, which stalls them up. He has the inside line into this penultimate corner. Aston absolutely sends it round the outside. Big old number 11s on the way into that corner, makes it stick and just flies past. Well done to Quentin for spotting the car was there and just holding the line on the inside of that corner, and not running wide on the exit there at all. So well done for both of them. Properly impressive move from that Aston Martin to make that up. They've now got to do the best job they can of absolutely running away to minimise that 15-second penalty as best they can. 3 seconds up the road is Lillian Hillera in the BMW. If they can pull that gap, no, sorry, not 3 seconds, 2.7 seconds up the road to that BMW. So if they can keep going at this kind of pace, their last lap, although it was only about a tenth quicker than the BMW on pace, and there's only about a tenth between these two cars on outright fastest lap pace. So it's very close, but it is doable. If either of them make any mistakes, then it is going to be trouble. As Olsen is now back on terms with Alasario. Evidently some traffic involved there. Alasario struggling to get past. And that has put Olsen right back under the rear wing of that. Ferrari has clearly not had the drive out the final corner now. The Bentley really starting to drag up behind. Doesn't quite have the confidence on the brakes to stick it in as much as Alasario. But with another car 72 of Grinsell up the road as well, that they will be catching, there may still be a chance for Olsen to get this one back from Alasario if that car becomes a problem. That back marker is too much of a hold up just from following its line, and Alasario evidently having a bit of an issue trying to get past traffic safely. It's always better to back out of a move than it is to go for one that may result in an accident. So haven't seen entirely how that gap disappeared, but that would be my guess as to how that's happened. The battle with Quentin and Had has pulled away. I say that the timing screen on the race is saying about a second, but in actual fact it's about 0.6 at the moment, as Wilkins gets past Bonner in the Aston Martin. So that McLaren going past the Aston Martin to pull Jenkins back up into 7th place.
Ollie on YouTube. So P1 last lap was 130.667. Wilkins was a 131.552. As we're watching the battle here, there's two battles on. We've got Wilkins and Bonner. Bonner right on the back end of Wilkins, trying to make an advantage here, but unfortunately not able to. Looks like he's lost a little bit of time into the last corner as the McLaren is just driving away at the moment. Olsen now back to 1.2 seconds behind, so again losing a little bit of time. Looks like he got a little bit wide on the exit there as well. Won't help him as he's trying to chase down that very nimble 296. Again, Quentin trying to come back to Had. He knows he just needs to keep Had in view. He knows that 15 seconds. He knows he's going to get that P5 again. But it must be bitter considering the car he is following took him out of P1.
Indeed, it's whether there will be a little bit of red mist or whether it will just be a case of, I know you've got a penalty. That's probably what it's for. You've got your just desserts, and I will let you run. I don't know, but either way, it's always tricky when you've had a bit of a door banging session with somebody, and you're catching back up with them not to get a bit of a red mist situation and desperately trying to get back on terms with them. It does look like the Aston might be carrying a little bit of damage on the front end, but nothing major in comparison to what it may have been earlier with the earlier incident.
And again, Quinton's went off. He's on the grass, on the straight. He ended up with a little bit of power on oversteer on power, which sent him into the grass. That is now killed any time that he's gained at the moment.
Oh, as Berg drops behind Hilliard, I did just see the yellow flags for Cots 72. I'm going to do a quick replay and see what
there's a collision.
Here.
A collision.
Between it looks like
Berg and Hilliard, maybe?
No,
or was that a back marker?
It was the BMW that was being lapped, completely missed its braking point, and just ploughed into the side of Berg as Berg tried to turn into the corner. Wouldn't have been sighted, wouldn't have known they were there. That was just a moment of completely missing where their brakes were. And that has now brought Berg into striking distance of Had now. So that's potentially another position that can be gained and yet more time taken out, yet less damage done by that 15-second penalty.
And we're looking at this battle, but we've also got this battle which is still ongoing. That mistake by Quinton has now pushed him into the grasp of Wilkins in the orange. I'm assuming he's got the stream on since he's just flashed his lights at us going round the penultimate corner. The McLaren... he was actually flashing a back marker. It just happened I switched over at the time he was flashing. Some drivers do that. They have the stream on in the background and flash the lights because they know they're in shot. But that orange McLaren closing up so quickly. He's right on the back bumper of this. This is going to be a huge run all the way down. As
that BMW's got some straight line on it. It's pulling away from the McLaren there in a straight line. The question is, though, who's going to be better on the brakes? We know the BMW in the hands of the non-rookies is fantastic on the brakes. Manages to keep that gap, but it's definitely shrunk from where it was. So this will be an interesting one. The McLaren quite a medium, a kind of...
The side by side from Had and Berg there along the back straight. Hasn't managed to get past there. They were side by side going into the deep right hander, and had to back out of it. Otherwise, the two of them were going to be collected. But oh my goodness! I don't think he was expecting that amount of braking from Berg in the Ferrari.
We've seen that Aston be unbelievably quick through that middle section. It's really good through the fast sweepers,
and you can see
and is able to dive up behind people really, really well through that.
And you can see the battle behind for Quinton as well, and Wilkins battling on. And it looks like we've got a back marker coming up as well. Yep, that Ferrari. So 296 trying to get a bit of toll from that. The back marker is indicating, but he's now moved back into racing line and now come off. The option would have been just to brake and stay where you were. But this is so close. The Aston Martin on the back bumper again. Side by side coming up here. It looks like the favoured corner for most drivers. Again, last of the late breakers. Berg. He's made contact.
Aston held its ground. Berg turned in a little bit, but we'll leave the stewards to work that one out.
Absolutely, but that is now
obviously in the eye of the stewards already. But that has now punted Berg down to 7th overall now, as they are coming past this back marker of what car number is that? I can't actually see. Not car 15. Not 100% sure. But this battle but it has now put Berg on Bonner and Berg are. Excuse me, I will get a sentence out in a second. It's now put Berg on the attack from Bonner as Bonner goes around the another Aston Martin trying for that round the outside. Can't quite make it stick, but can they get the cut back? Looks like they've managed to get the cut back beautifully on the inside of the final corner there. Who's got the drag? It's a drag race now into turn one, and looks like the Aston's got it. Is able to just hold out the Ferrari, park it on the apex, stop any cutback from the Ferrari, and that is Bonner through, and that has dropped Berg back down yet another place into 8th. As Quentin and Wilkins are battling hard, just seeing them swap places on the timing screen, so this battle is definitely not over. Both of them are almost identical on previous lap times. Quentin just in it with a 31.915 versus a 31.980, so absolutely nothing between them. Obviously, Wilkins has the outright fastest lap of the race, but that means nothing because it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to get past somebody. As the BMW bobbles the curve really hard, gets the car a little bit unsettled. Has this given a gap to Wilkins? No, not quite. Wilkins just on a slightly tighter line into the middle of that corner. Can't quite make it work, and that's given the break to Quentin in a straight line. As car 128 just starts its final lap now, ahead of Olsen. Wilkins got? They're almost in striking distance into the first corner. Not quite got the brakes, although got fantastic drive. Actually has to completely get out of the throttle on the exit there. Otherwise, they'd have run into the back of Quentin. That's given Quentin what would have already been a pretty good run on top speed down this back straight into turn 3. Turn 2, turn 3? And dies up is now on the back foot and having to redo all of that work they did to get properly under the rear bumper of Quentin now. As the leader is just coming into the last sector, so I'll drop back to them and see how they are coming to the end of the race. See them through this last sector, just clear. Olsen is right on their tails. Any mistakes these last couple of corners, and Olsen will be there to pick up the pieces. Still not backing out of this. I think Alasario may have backed out just a little bit, as we've seen that gap come down by about 2/10 over this course of this lap, just to make sure they bring it home safely. And that is Alasario has won the first race, followed by Olsen, and it is looking like 5 seconds for Had, car 28 for push to pass on car 23. So that contact we saw between Berg and Had has unfortunately gone the way of Had. So Had's now got 20 seconds at the end of that one. So that will be a big gap to drop back behind. So hopefully they managed to make up as much as they could.
An absolute fantastic win for Alessio. Fought very hard, and Casper Olsen absolutely making sure he remained in front, remained cool, calm and collected, as Zita said, made any mistake, and that P1 was going to go to Casper. But Casper did an amazing job to put that Bentley up in P2. And out of the top 5, we actually have 4 different manufacturers. We've got Ferrari, Bentley, BMW, Aston and BMW. So really looks as if the field is spread out and everyone has now crossed the line to finish, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing to see.
Grissel picked up a disqualification. What was that for? Was that in the was that from on track, or was that something that was spotted outside of? No. Car 72 for deliberately taking out car 23 on lap 29. Didn't see that. That might have been the. No, that was evidently the just what we thought was forgetting to go on the brakes. So yeah, that is 20 something started. 19 have finished.
Amazing.
Sorry.
So we are going to have driver interviews. If there are any drivers who wish to speak to us, if they go into the waiting room on Discord, and we will pick you up from there and have a very quick chat with you and see how things went. But a really good race, and the rookies always provide such a good race, whether it's action because of mistakes or it's battling. Our very own David Amandalisi, Peter Romeo, Mr. Stephen Hood, all these big names in Toga, Elias Fernando, all competing within the rookies to then progress into other championships. And to see the battles, Davida and Peter had so many good battles on track. Just amazing to see.
They to share a car with each other as well.
They are, so they are in the Toga Esports as well. So yeah, that's it. So I'll run through quickly the finishing order. P1 is Eliseo in the Ferrari, Casper Olsen P2, Hilliard in P3, had P4, but he will drop down positions with that 20-second penalty. Quinton P5, Wilkins with the fastest lap of 129.670 in P6, Bona in P7, Berg P8, Vanden Vingart in P9, Bucci P10, Tartari P11, Caramano P12, Olivier Stamford, rookie at BRT P13, Christian Andreasen, boss of BRT P14, just saying. Then we've got the Giuseppe P15, Williams P16, possibly someone disconnected. It goes from 16 to 18, but Grissel is shown as P18 here. Vin Hewson in P19 and Ganley is in P20. So that is a finishing order we have. And yeah, so it doesn't look like we have anyone in an interview waiting room. If there are new drivers, they may not know to come into the interview waiting room, or some are quite shy, which is fair enough. There's never any pressure, but we do have the boss man himself with us. Good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
We're okay.
Is there still things to be done, or is all incidents been dealt with?
All incidences have all 30 of them have been dealt with.
That's good. That's good.
There was one every 2 minutes.
There was some silly things went on, but I have to say, again, I mean, no red flag and battles all over the place. At one point, we had 7 cars battling for one position. Rookies always, it just always delivers on entertainment.
It does, and it would have been a lot better if drivers hadn't got the time penalties at the start of the race. When the pit stops come, it just sort of that those battles just disappeared, didn't they? They all just sort of dispersed because of the penalties. But yeah, no, it really did. We was very apprehensive at the start when people were putting in ridiculously fast lap times. But the ballast system has worked again.
It has absolutely.
Slowed a lot of people down.
Mr. Stephen Hood on YouTube, you're 5 seconds off the pace. You obviously don't have enough time to practice just now, which is what the problem is. We know that you can race. We know that you can bang doors and you can get yourself into places. So, hopefully you'll be back in the hot seat soon.
It's almost like he needs to work at a company where he can obviously work in the sort of motorsport gaming industry or something along those lines.
I mean, if only he could. I'm sure that'd be a dream job for him to work in.
Exactly, it'd be anyone's dream job, wouldn't it? Or something.
Exactly. It'd be even better if he was a developer of his own as well. That he understood all this kind of stuff.
He was like a CEO.
That's a dream.
But yeah, no. All in all, jump over you. All in all, it was a really good opening round.
Yep.
Like I say, there's a couple of disqualifications that
which was
great.
Fair. It was. They were fair though, because we caught some of them, and and the thing is, you go over it in driver briefings. We go on about it in commentating, but it's like when you get behind the wheel and you start racing, your brain disconnects all common sense to your hands and your feet, and you end up doing really stupid things that you know you shouldn't do. And unfortunately, we do need to disqualify people because we need to get them off the track. If they're not driving sensibly or safely, then they need to go, and that's it at the end of the day.
Yeah, agreed. Seems to be a couple of people posting in the chat saying thank you, and obviously I think Sam Ganley or whoever it was has posted quite a nice message apologising for his driving tonight, which is exactly what we want. So all in all, it's been a good start to race one. Maybe disappointed about in terms of numbers, but hopefully next week that should bring more people in. And obviously we do it all again tomorrow, don't we? In rookies. So
Indeed.
Just as an FYI to everybody who is watching, if we get to race 3, so week 3, and numbers are still low, and we can get enough to form one grid, then we'll make a decision on forming the 2 grids into one to have it a bigger grid.
Yep.
But we'll do the first 2 weeks, and then we'll make that decision, because after week 2, when we upload the results to SimGrid, anyone that doesn't bother showing up gets disqualified. So we'll give everyone a benefit of the doubt for week 1, and then we'll go again, and then we'll see what happens after that. But just to make let everybody know. But it'll get announced anyway in Discord, etc., for everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Simon's actually in the interview waiting room, so
I'll go. But I just want to say, Max Eater, a legendary. Thank you so much for commentating duties tonight. It's
no problem.
I didn't hear much of it. I'm not going to lie because I was too busy in the stewards box. But massive thank you again. Everyone in chat, welcome in.
We'll send some crayons to the stewards.
Can't spare, can I, mate? Have a good one.
You too, mate. Cheers. Right, let's speak to Mr. Simon. Good evening, Simon.
Hello, good evening.
Hello. Your race didn't quite go to plan. How do you feel it went, even though it didn't go to plan?
No, I've missed my start. When the lights go on green, I took a drive-through penalty.
Yeah.
But I know because the 4 of us. There was a big gap between the 4 of us and the midfield.
Yep.
It's not a problem. I'm also here to say that I will withdraw myself from this championship because it was a misunderstanding from me.
All right.
I saw split 1, so I thought it's split 1.
Split 1 would be the faster group. It's something we should maybe look at trying to explain a bit better or make it a bit clearer, because obviously LFM do run with splits. Who you have in your split 1 is your fastest.
It's not a problem.
But
it was a very fun race. So,
it was an absolute pleasure, and you came back up to P9. You know, it was a
P8,
last
P8.
to first. P8, sorry.
P8.
So you did. So you almost did a last to first. And you know,
almost.
there were actually some fast drivers in amongst the field, which obviously caused issues for you to try and get as further up as you could. Did you have?
Was nice for me.
Did you have full fuel, or were you going half and half with your fuel?
I did half and half.
Right. Okay.
From the moment that the pit window was open, I've waited one another lap, and then I did my pit stop.
Yeah.
Because it was because of the situation that I have created by myself with the ridiculous drive-through.
It's one of these things. It
never
really
saw
is.
that. Never saw that. The first 4 drive-through.
Do you know?
Never saw that.
I did say, God, he's going pretty fast for the formation lap, and then as soon as you went over, all the DTs came in, and I was, oh no. So
but I've started. For me, it was a standing start because I saw the situation and I thought, this is not good.
Yep.
So I've waited, and P2, P3, P4, everybody's waited.
Yep.
But then, we've left off because the lights turned on green.
Mm-hmm.
But the gap was too big. But it's not a problem. That's why you call it a rookie championship, and everybody needs to learn it. And it's very good. It's very good that people here have a chance to learn sim racing.
Yeah, absolutely, in a
Clean
reasonable,
and fair.
yeah, absolutely, in a safe environment where they can make mistakes without. Because I've made mistakes in the LFM and had absolute abuse on messages and things where it just discourages you from ever wanting to race again. But we are genuinely so happy that you're here and that you're looking to go into other championships. You are a very, very fast driver. So you will be competing against very fast drivers very soon in Toga. I don't doubt it for a second.
All right. Thank you for the compliments.
No problem. Compliments where they're due. So they are. I do like your Discord picture. Is that a beer that you have?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks amazing.
It's a Belgian beer called Duvel.
Oh, nice. Have you?
When you're in Belgium, you need to try it.
Oh, definitely. Well, do you know about the Belgian racing team?
BRT.
BRT,
No, I didn't know them.
Right, okay, well, they're in our community, and Christian is the boss or co-boss of the team, Christian Andreansen. They've got very quick drivers. You should maybe speak to them. It's,
Okay. It's a good tip.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if Christian will be watching this or EBT on Twitch, but you've got a very fast Belgian driver here who I think would probably be quite happy to be racing with fast teams as well. Do you like endurance races, Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go then. BRT, they're all about short sprints, these kind of races, and enduro races as well. So,
okay.
Yep.
Christian is marked as on online in the sidebar. So if you have a look under there, you'll see BRTBE.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, he's under.
Drop him a message if you want to go have a chat, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to pick up some more members as well.
They're amazing.
Okay.
They're an amazing team who support us so much. There's not one horrible person in amongst them, so we're not trying to send you to somewhere horrible, but absolutely ping them a message.
Probably the nicest bunch of motor racing
Oh,
enthusiasts.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So ping them a message and see how you get on.
Okay, I will do that. And thanks again for for the organization. Sorry,
No problem.
of this championship.
No,
glad you've enjoyed the race. Apologies that it wasn't quite as fast as you were expecting.
Oh, it's not a problem.
it's a compliment, though.
fault.
It's a compliment. You're too fast. Please leave the championship.
Oh boy. So, tonight we've created history. The first 4 drive-through.
Yeah, I know. I don't think we've had that before.
Toga Motorsport has the how do you say it? Has the
bragging
reward?
rights.
No, yeah.
We've got the bragging rights.
Right.
Yeah, it might become a meme. It might become a TikTok. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's also good for me.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit more exposure. Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, Simon. Thank you so much for your time,
All right.
and I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
All right. Big thanks.
No
Bye.
problem. Bye.
Wait,
Right, there we go. So
I did have somebody, but they have run away. So
They
I was
have,
gonna
yeah.
use 1 second to see if they wanted to come back, but yeah, definitely. That was good fun. That was a good race.
it never fails to entertain, and tomorrow night we'll be watching
I'm
you.
gonna put myself in shame. I'm probably gonna park it in somebody's rear bumper, something.
Oh, dear.
Just commentator's curse. We're gonna have an awful qualifying, and then just completely fail at being able to drive properly.
If it helps, I'll avoid watching you at all on stream to see if that. I'll watch everybody else round about you, just to see if that helps.
We tried to do the same for you in the world.
That was nice.
In the World Tour. I don't think you had the better time in the last one on that one. So
no, I didn't. I was better at Brands than I was at Spa. Was it Spa? Was the first one? Yeah, Spa was the first one.
I don't wish to be mean, but I don't think that was the highest of paths to clear.
No, it wasn't. No, that's very true. That's very true. So thank you very much for the love and support. A huge thank you to Zita for sharing the commentary box with me again. It's always a pleasure. And we will see you tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. British summertime. Here, Hayden and myself will be live. We'll be live on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Catch us wherever you want. Casper, awesome driving, my friend. Absolutely awesome. You were just unlucky that you didn't end up in P1, but amazing with the P2. Mank, take care as well, and we'll speak to you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Bye.